Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star based on novel. So let's start. Earlier on, the pierce of that long shuttle caused the golden flames in the surroundings to form a winding whirlpool. Likewise, the heavy water flow in the surroundings also became a gigantic whirlpool. With just one stab. Powerful. Swift. And young master was just about to execute his greatest technique with a wave of his scepter. So he was not in time to concurrently ward off the sudden attack. He reacted quickly by using his left palm to execute a stance from his greatest technique, sealing the sky. However, the power of this stance was weakened because it was executed with his left palm, where it should originally be executed through his scepter. Furthermore, and young master did not have any attack-type true treasures in his hand for self-defense. The tip of the long shuttle pierced right through his palm. And young master's godly body trembled. A large quantity of godly power was consumed, and his breathing weakened rapidly. In a split second, it had weakened to 50% and below. But in the blink of an eye, his avatar's godly body, which was housed within his internalized world ring, speedily transmitted endless godly power to him, allowing him to recover right away. Darkness fell upon the water domain, and it fell into a chaotic world. Chaotic airflow spread all over. Shawu wings, empower. Flame sand cup, empower. Miniature universe, empower. Luo Feng was unstoppable. After executing miniature universe, without lifting a finger, he could rely on the terrifying oppression he had exerted earlier to gain an advantage over his opponent. Not far away, by his side, the towering Blood Cloud Palace Master exuded endless ferocity. Holding onto his long shuttle, which was tens of thousands of kilometers long, he was also charging toward an young master with a murderous intention. Luo Feng and Blood Cloud Palace Master were joining efforts. Everything was happening according to Luo Feng's plan. Previously, with his Golden County and Flame Domain, he had defeated Ice Sand Ocean. Thereafter everything fell within Luo Feng's control. And young master was unable to explore his surroundings, so naturally, he did not know that Luo Feng had secretly released his golden hornet beast body in the guise of Blood Cloud Palace Master. Blood Cloud Palace Master. And young master saw him and was furious. He transmitted a roar of rage. Blood Cloud Palace Master, although you have disappeared for a long time, you remain a figure of repute. In the primal universe, you did not bother to get acquainted with anyone. Yet today, you dare to lay an ambush on me without considering your position. And to help this human form Luo Feng sneak an attack on me. Ha ha. I shall get acquainted with whoever I please, said Blood Cloud Palace Master, full of insolence. Who are you to control me? I find Luo Feng pleasing to the eye, and both of us come from the same primal universe. Even if I don't help him, do you think I will help you, someone from the first universe era? Blood Cloud, the two of us shall act in concert to deal with him. Luo Feng shouted. Yes. Blood Cloud Palace Master shouted back in response. And young master was forced to retreat with mixed feelings of anxiety and rage. Everything was supposed to be happening in his favor, but he hadn't expected Blood Cloud Palace Master to turn up and attack him so suddenly. As a side note, it would be useful to know that the various top forces were always gathering information on certain high-end great beings. Even Luo Feng's information was sought after most thoroughly. The Divine Eye clan would naturally have searched for information on Blood Cloud Palace Master, and learned that Blood Cloud Palace Master fought against Star River Master in the original Star, and might have been on the losing end, but he did not lose much, or even any of his godly power. Star River King had given his best, but could only give up and leave in the end. This battle raised the overall evaluation of Blood Cloud Palace Master. Over 100 different powers of Universe Ocean changed their evaluation right away. The news is accurate, and young master thought. I was originally extremely strong in defense, and I believed in the principle of an eye for an eye, thus I dared to give an injury for an injury. I did not expect that one pierce from my long shuttle would cost me 50% of my Divine Eye clan body. And young master was speedily retreating to buy himself more time, as he anxiously scoured for countermeasures to deal with his situation. Even if it were 1-to-1 against Blood Cloud Palace Master, it would be difficult to gain the upper hand. With these two joining forces, Blood Cloud Palace Master now has Luo Feng's help, who will put his domain and miniature chaotic universe into play. I will be completely suppressed. Between Blood Cloud Palace Master and myself, I am afraid the result will always be failure without victory. The thought flashed past him within an instant. The speed of a great being was extremely fast. How satisfying, thought Luo Feng. To be able to execute miniature universe within the universe ocean is truly a delight. Luo Feng was high on emotions and let out an excited howl. Universe ocean was filled with chaotic airflow all over, and the purity level of this chaotic airflow was extremely high. The surroundings of Tilted Peak sector might have thinned down the chaotic airflow, but it was, nonetheless, incomparably pure. After executing his miniature universe, Luo Feng was delighted to discover that the chaotic airflow he could control, when mixed together with those chaotic airflows of high purity level, could undergo a heightened boost in power in an instant. Miniature universe and chaotic airflow, gather. Luo Feng gave a sudden shout of command. Miniature universe gave form to two gigantic tornado whirlpools, and each moved to encircle Luo Feng's blade and Blood Cloud Palace Master's Star Tower Long Shuttle, respectively. Star Tower Long Shuttle moved to pierce An Yong Master again. A dazzling golden blade sliced toward An Yong Master. Bastard! An Yong Master was anxious and furious. With his scepter in his hand, he transformed into a hazy shadow to execute his greatest technique, sealing the sky. Then a loud, rumbling bang was heard, and An Yong Master felt a great tremor throughout his godly body. The dazzling golden blade had hit him from behind, causing his godly body to tremble and immediately weaken by 10%. Damn! An Yong Master was infuriated. Ha 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 ha. An Yong, today shall be your day of annihilation. Luo Feng was overflowing with arrogance. Blood Cloud Palace Master revealed a sardonic smile. You are dead meat. The two attacked in concerted efforts. Where An Yong Master could ward off Blood Cloud Palace Master, he would not be able to defend against Luo Feng. On the other hand, blocking Luo Feng would mean that he was not able to ward off Blood Cloud Palace Master. After all, Blood Cloud Palace Master was able to activate the second-level power of Star Tower Long Shuttle, which was extremely fast. Luo Feng's blade technique, Golden Light, was also known for its speed. With the triple empowerment of Miniature Universe, Flame Ocean, and Golden Country, it was even faster, causing the speed of An Yong Master's weapon to slow down. No matter how strong a technique he had, he could barely ward off Luo Feng or Blood Cloud Palace Master. Undoubtedly, his choice would be to ward off Blood Cloud Palace Master. Blood Cloud Palace Master is certainly 4th tier. Thought An Yong Master. And with the empowerment of his surrounding domain, he would most probably be comparable to 5th tier. That human form may only be on 2nd tier, but with the empowerment of his surrounding domain, he could be comparable to 4th tier. An Yong Master's heart was in his throat. His anxiety was at its peak. The power level was soaring, the increase was doubled. Golden Horned Beast Body had a supreme true treasure, barely making it a 4th tier combat power. Usually, Universe Masters with supreme true treasures would wield combat power up to the 6th tier. However, Luo Feng was unable to bring the power of this supreme true treasure to full force for 2 reasons. 1. He was only able to comprehend Star Tower up till its 2nd form. 2. The strength of his godly power was still too weak. Combined with the triple empowerment, it was certainly comparable to 5th tier combat power. However, true 5th tier beings like Primal Chaos City Leader and Star River Master usually had Pinnacle Domain true treasures with them when they roamed Universe Ocean. With their capabilities, they could activate Pinnacle Domain true treasures to higher forms, and these activated forms were much stronger than those of Sky Wolf Master. I may be weaker than Star River Master and Teacher, Primal Chaos City Leader, but I think I still have the confidence to trample An Yong Master with the 2 of us working together. Blood Cloud Palace Master and Luo Feng's original body attacked without inhibitions. They surrounded An Yong Master and subjected him to a crazy round of attacks. Still dare to be so arrogant? Still thinking of killing me? Dream on. Luo Feng ranted as he trampled on An Yong Master. An Yong Master was so furious that his entire face glowered. The single-eyed shadow in the circular light behind him became distorted. He was angry beyond sanity. He was a universe master of top-tier existence, the fourth tier, with extremely strong defensive ability. If tackling an opponent one-to-one, even a universe supreme master might not have been able to force him to give in. But now, it was 2 against 1, and every time there was an exchange of blows, he was on the defensive. Godly body is weakening. Recover. What great tolerance, muttered Luo Feng. Luo Feng was cursing and swearing at An Yong Master in his heart. An Yong Master only maintained his defense against attacks by Blood Cloud Palace Master, regardless of how Luo Feng rained his attacks on An Yong Master. Every time his godly body started to weaken, it would speedily recover. In the blink of an eye, 9 seconds passed. Luo Feng stopped his sustenance of miniature universe, and the next moment, the vast miniature universe dissipated. The chaotic airflow in the surroundings also dispersed. The suppression over An Yong Master was immediately reduced. An Yong Master saw his chance and quickly transformed into a stream of light and fled the scene. Want to escape? Blood Cloud Palace Master roared. Don't give chase. Luo Feng shouted. This An Yong Master is a hardcore fellow who is almost impossible to exterminate. Luo Feng also recovered the sealed space. An Yong Master released the sealed space while he was being mauled by Luo Feng and Blood Cloud Palace Master. The moment he felt the space ripples, he made his escape by teleporting far away immediately. He did not want to be surrounded and attacked. Using up his godly power was not a big deal. The sense of helplessness when subjected to attacks in such a manner was overbearing. It was a great insult. Deep in the water domain, Luo Feng and Blood Cloud Palace Master stood side by side. He has teleported away. Luo Feng sneered. With a single thought, he summoned Blood Cloud Palace Master, which was actually Golden Hornet Beast body in disguise, back into his world ring. Even if news of Blood Cloud Palace Master and I joining forces against An Yong Master spreads, nothing much will happen, Luo Feng said to himself. After all, Blood Cloud Palace Master has no enmity toward the human race. Furthermore, An Yong Master would not wish to lose face, so he will not be spreading news so detrimental to his reputation. Whether the news spread or not really did not matter. Luo Feng had already offended the 3 major alliances, namely, the Demons, Automaton Race, and the Bug Soldiers. Those that he had established good ties with were the Ancestral God School, the Space Beast Alliance, and his own kind, the human race. They would not make much out of him forming an alliance with Blood Cloud Palace Master. Luo Feng flew straight out of the cave. In the vast universe ocean, there were the 7 miniature universes of the Divine Eye clan. In the palace hall, An Yong Master sat on his throne, his face contorted into a fearsome look. His anger was insuppressible. Damn, damn, damn. An Yong Master roared. Suddenly, he frowned, and with a flip of his hand, a mirror appeared in front of him. In the middle, a figure clad in golden armor appeared. An Yong, said the figure. Golden Surveyor, said An Yong. An Yong, I was just rushing out from the internal domain of Tilted Peak Sector. Why are you contacting me all of a sudden? Golden Surveyor Master, I have disappointed you. An Yong Master lowered his head a slight degree to express his apology, then raised his head and said, I was dealing with the human Luo Feng from the Primal Universe, but I had not expected him to have Blood Cloud Palace Master's help. With Blood Cloud Palace Master and Luo Feng joining forces, even I will be at the losing end. This operation has failed. Failed. Golden Surveyor Master was a trifle annoyed. If you did not have full confidence, you should have enlisted my help right away. I have already penetrated layers of danger, and now you are asking me to turn back. Such an event had better not happen a second time. The figure in the mirror vanished instantly. An Yong Master could only let out a low grunt. There was nothing he could do. In terms of power and status, Golden Surveyor Master was always a notch above him. Owning a pinnacle domain type true treasure already, to a certain extent, reflected Golden Surveyor Master's ability. Blood Cloud Palace Master. Human Luo Feng. The moment I discovered Luo Feng, I wasted no time in sealing space. There was no way Blood Cloud Palace Master could possibly have rushed over from the outside world. He must have been in Luo Feng's world ring. But no matter how close they were, it was unlikely that Blood Cloud Palace Master would have followed him so closely unless. And Young Master's eyes flashed with realization as he gritted his teeth. I knew it. The humans want to protect Luo Feng, and Blood Cloud Palace Master's help is all part of their arrangement. No wonder. No wonder Blood Cloud Palace Master has never taken any action against the human race and is always wearing a mask. Blood Cloud Palace Master must be human. Blood Cloud Palace Leader is human, and has been secretly protecting Luo Feng. Are you kidding? Who knows? The news is spread among the Universe Masters, and chances are it's genuine. Ha ha. No wonder that Blood Cloud Palace Leader has never attacked humans. Now I know the reason. Goddamn human race. It secretly tells Blood Cloud Palace Leader to attack us Northern Territory Alliance. The news kept being spread. The Divine Eye clan and some powers in the original universe had information sharing agreements. When a Young Master spread the news, some of the powers that had suffered under Blood Cloud Palace Leader went to question the great beings in the human race. Is Blood Cloud Palace Leader human? Why do you humans let Blood Cloud Palace Leader slaughter all those beings? No. You're not admitting it. Okay, good for you. All those who went to question the human race got a similar response. Clearly, the human race wouldn't admit that Blood Cloud Palace was human, and it didn't care. When some great beings of other races asked whether they knew human the Luo Feng was with Blood Cloud Palace Leader, the human race replied indifferently, we don't care who Luo Feng makes friends with. We don't have any restrictions for who human universe masters to make friends with. If he's really a friend of Blood Cloud Palace Leader, we won't do anything about it. Sorry. We don't need to tell you anything. The human race didn't care about other powers. However, though Primal Chaos City Leader and Void Gold Master were tough to others, they were still surprised inside. They asked Luo Feng about it through the virtual universe. Luo Feng's answer was simple. I met Blood Cloud Palace Leader in the water area of Tilted Peak Sector. We got along very well, so we decided to adventure through the area together. Everything had been planned by an Young Master, who had been beaten by Luo Feng and Blood Cloud Palace Leader. Thus far, his plan had failed, which upset an Young Master. If he couldn't kill Luo Feng, at least he could cause trouble for him. That was why he had started to spread the news. Blood Cloud Palace Leader has lots of enemies, said an Young Master. His enemies will be hostile against you, Luo Feng. Humph. The more enemies you have, the more likely you'll be kicked when you're down. Just wait and see. An Young Master was patient. As a supreme being, he'd had a long life, and he'd made himself an enemy of lots of other great beings. They had been hostile toward each other for an eternity. You dare to bully me, muttered an Young Master. And as a nobody. I won't let you get away with that so easily. I won't. An Young Master would take revenge for everything. When the Great Incarnation came, he would die as a great being from the First Universe era. Also, he hadn't found any hope to survive the Great Incarnation. This was the true source of his anger. An Young Master only made some more enemies of Luo Feng, but Luo Feng didn't care much about it. Normal great beings won't make enemies, as they're afraid of having too many of them. I have Star Tower, and it seems I can get another supreme true treasure, which means I'm destined to be exceptional. The more enemies I have, the more chances I have to sharpen myself. Luo Feng was inside the cave between the first and the second light screen. He feared that it would be like last time. He went through the first light screen, and with the light screen, other great beings couldn't find him at all. The 100th time. Mosha Body had tried to get to that mysterious wing space 100 times. However, it had died every time as soon as he barely even entered the space. 100 times, and Mosha Body only got to observe the surroundings twice. Luo Feng nodded. Twice. Aside from that gigantic light wing, a storm surrounded it. Luo Feng made up his mind. I'll use Star Tower now. He sat on the cold rock between the first light screen and the second light screen. He kept his eyes closed and tried to calm himself down. After all, it wasn't easy to get a supreme true treasure, not to mention, to make one recognize him as its owner. He couldn't be arrogant or careless. He spent 5 minutes calming himself down, and forgot about all the anxiety and excitement. Let's go. Luo Feng moved his mind. A man in bloody armor showed up. It was Blood Cloud Palace leader. Golden Horned Beast will stay here, and I'll go in, Luo Feng thought. He let his original earthling body get in, as he was the one wearing the Shawu wings. Luo Feng thought that might aid in getting those supreme true treasure light wings. Bigger. 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 Luo Feng held Star Tower. Star Tower bulged and grew into a tower 10,000 kilometers tall. Luo Feng stepped into the tower. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Inside the control room of the tower, the metal ground was transparent. Luo Feng stood there. I can see everything outside. His mind was connected to Star Tower's core mind. Star Tower had a certain level of intelligence, but it was highly limited. It might be able to do calculations incredibly fast, but emotionally, it was equivalent to a baby. Everything out there showed up. It was like eternal simulation, in which Luo Feng was able to see the rocks and the light screen on the outside. Move forward. Luo Feng controlled Star Tower, which started to fly. Second light screen, Luo Feng whispered and kept controlling Star Tower. Star Tower flew slowly, but it went through one light screen after another. Before long, it reached the 9th light screen. I'll now arrive in the mysterious space. Luo Feng gritted his teeth. He was bringing Star Tower, Shawu wings, and force armor along with him. He couldn't afford to lose. I have to succeed. Luo Feng clenched his teeth and entered the 9th light screen. In the dark space, the blade formed a storm that swept across everything, and when Star Tower showed up, it was hit by the blade storm. It bounced away like a small boat in a tsunami. Damn it. Luo Feng felt a terrific shock wave attacking Star Tower. One blade of light after another attacked Star Tower. Each time, it was like hundreds of blades striking at once, which blasted Star Tower away like a toy. Star Tower was completely defenseless. Hit. Hit. The blades of light kept hitting Star Tower, which rolled like a soccer ball. Oh my god, said Luo Feng. He stayed in the control room. Although Star Tower kept bouncing away, he didn't feel anything in the control room. He couldn't feel it, but he could see everything around it, including how Star Tower kept being blasted away like a toy. He couldn't resist such powerful shock waves. Powerful. Too powerful. The blade light is terrifically powerful. Luo Feng had his godly power infused everywhere in Star Tower, so he could clearly sense the shock wave. The blades of light were much stronger than the techniques from Star River Master. Hundreds of times more powerful. The blades of light are incredibly powerful, Luo Feng thought. Possibly more powerful than attacks from Universe Supreme Masters. Although he had never fought a Universe Supreme Master, even Universe Supreme Masters were only stronger than Star River Master to a limited extent. Yet the blades of light. Each one made Luo Feng feel that it was much stronger than the ultimate technique of Star River Master. Too powerful, if not for Star Tower, I would be killed instantly, Luo Feng thought. When he'd fought Star River Master, he had been slightly injured using the shuttle of Star Tower, so it was unsurprising that he would have been killed instantly by these blades, which were hundreds of times stronger. Luo Feng was right. Imperial Master had been in a top-tier palace-type true treasure, which couldn't even be destroyed by a Universe Supreme Master. However, he had been annihilated instantly. Apparently, the blade storm was stronger than attacks from Universe Supreme Masters. The blade storm was extremely powerful. Even Luo Feng, who was incredibly strong, couldn't control Star Tower. It bounced away time and time again. Smaller. 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 Luo Feng kept controlling it. Star Tower shrank to the size of a grain of sand immediately. The original body of Star Tower was 9 light-years tall, and it could get larger. It could also become as small as a tiny particle. This was the ability of a supreme true treasure. Star Tower had many interior spaces, but even when Star Tower shrank, and spaces weren't affected. Normal treasures could also shrink, but not to the size of tiny particles. When it got smaller, Star Tower was only hit once in a while, as the blades of the storm were enormous. One blade alone won't affect Star Tower. Luo Feng felt he could fully control Star Tower now. Before, it had been flung about like a toy and couldn't be controlled. Now, it wouldn't be affected. After all, it was a supreme-type true treasure. The Light Wing. Luo Feng stayed in the particle-sized Star Tower. He looked at the endless storms outside and that glowing light wing. He flew Star Tower toward it immediately. The speed of Star Tower kept surging while the space was filled with blade storms, each of which was enormous. There were so many that Star Tower was hit once in a while, and it couldn't fly on a straight line. So far. Luo Feng looked at the giant light wing in the distance. This mysterious space might have a diameter of over 10 light-years, and the light wing is several light-years away from me. However, space and time have been completely crushed, so I can't do teleportation. Teleportation needed space ripples, only a little bit. However, the blades were more terrifying than attacks from Universe Supreme Masters, so they would annihilate space, which left no ripples at all. Luo Feng had to fly to the White Wings. Fortunately, I'm in Universe Ocean, where the speed limit is much higher than in the original universe, Luo Feng thought. The speed limit in Universe Ocean is 100 times faster than light speed, but because of the blade storm, Star Tower isn't able to hit the highest speed. Fortunately, it can still maintain an average speed of 50 times faster than light speed. Flying. Star Tower swiftly flew through the blade storms. Time flew. After a month, Star Tower had already flown more than 5 light-years, and it was very close to those giant white wings. All those blade storms come from that white pair of wings. Luo Feng exclaimed, looking at the outside. He saw the edge of the white wings emanating endless light, sweeping in the mysterious space. Some of the blade storms were absorbed by the white wings when they touched it. Erupting and absorbing. Erupt and absorb. Conversation of energy. Luo Feng thought. It looks almighty, but it actually only consumes little energy. Incredible, how incredible. Much more powerful than 5-color Aurora Lake. 5-color Aurora Lake was a supreme domain-type true treasure, so it was weaker in attacking power. Besides, when Double-Face Ancestral God was fighting Virtual Real Devil Master, 5-color Aurora Lake hadn't been fully utilized. It wasn't deliberately conserved, but Double-Face hadn't fully comprehended that. After all, it wasn't an easy task to wield the maximum power of a supreme true treasure. After another 3 days, Luo Feng was very close to the giant white wings. This? Luo Feng's facial expressions changed. He looked amazed before, but now, he was shocked. This is. It isn't a wing. No. From a distance, it had indeed appeared to be extremely breathtaking white wings more dazzling than billions of stars combined. However, when Luo Feng got close enough, he saw that it wasn't a wing at all, but a phantom formed by the overlapping of countless blade lights. Gosh! Luo Feng looked at everything with a thrill. In the distance, blade light overlapped with each other. On the edge, the blade light was thin, and the blade storms spread everywhere and enveloped the entire space. The closer it got to the center, the denser it was. A light wing formed by countless blades. Luo Feng exclaimed. Where did all the blade lights come from? There must be a terrific true treasure. Luo Feng was exhilarated. He kept flying. After another day of flying, Luo Feng finally saw it clearly. At the center of the huge light wing was a white wing, around which was a wing-shaped space. Outside the space around the white wing was the combination of all the blade light. The blade light formed a giant wing-shaped silhouette of light several light years tall, which formed blade storms. The origin seems to be that white wing. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. At the same time, the Shawu wings on his back started to tremble, as if they wanted to fly toward that white wings. I have to get it. Luo Feng held his breath. The closer it got, the slower Star Tower became. 100 million kilometers. 10 million kilometers. 1 million kilometers. So, this is what it looks like. Luo Feng kept observing the wings, as he was now able to see them clearly with his naked eyes. The pair of white wings was 100 meters tall and spread wide open. They looked white, because they were covered with dimming white light and the material was white, but actually, it was covered with dust. Closer. The closer Luo Feng got, the clearer he saw it. It was a pair of white wings with blood stains on it. 100,000 kilometers. 60,000 kilometers. 30,000 kilometers. Scram. 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 A mental force suddenly hit Luo Feng, which stupefied him. The mind contacting him was extremely overbearing. It made him feel like an ant facing off against a tiger. Luckily, Luo Feng was able to stay conscious. Something's wrong, thought Luo Feng. He found that the mind was hollow. Scram. The words of the mind kept attacking him, but he was able to stay calm. Hollow, thought Luo Feng. Although it's got terrific power, more so than huge axe founder, it's intangible. Luo Feng concentrated his mind. Kept going forward, but slow down. 20,000 kilometers. 15,000 kilometers. 10,000 kilometers. The mind kept roaring, but it wasn't difficult to resist it. Scram. Scram. Luo Feng dealt with it calmly and without fear. Star Tower had the power to guard the soul, so it could resist soul attacks as well as material attacks. As for crushing mental force, it was like a devilish force attacking him. It could, at most, crush one's mind, but as long as one kept his distance, his mind could quickly recover. Star Tower continued slowing down. 5,000 kilometers. 4,000 kilometers. 3.000 kilometers. It kept getting closer. That crushing mental force kept getting stronger, and it kept roaring, scram. Bastard. Scram. Otherwise, I'll kill you. You would have done that already if you could, Luo Feng said with a smirk. Besides, I'm in Star Tower. Even Universe Supreme Masters can't do anything to me, let alone you, a simple and stupid mental force. It was, indeed, simple and stupid. That crushing mental force did feel superior, but the only thing it was able to do was roar and swear. When Luo Feng tried to merge with blood river crystals, that devilish force knew how to form illusions, unlike this crushing mind, which only knew how to roar and swear. Rat bastard. Rat bastard. Scram. Otherwise, I'll kill you. I'll rip your soul off your body. I'll make you regret for the rest of your life. The crushing mind grew increasingly angrier the closer Luo Feng got. Luo Feng didn't care. The mind wouldn't threaten him if it could really kill him. Even those beasts on the earth were more intelligent than the wing. Bastard, I'll kill you. I'll kill you. You'll regret it. 2,000 kilometers. 1,000 kilometers. Luo Feng really felt the difficulty of the task now. He was thrilled, as his willpower was at the Universe Master level. He wouldn't be affected if he was hit by other Universe Masters. Perhaps only a mental attack from Universe Supreme Masters would affect him. However, this mind was not that of any great being. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been so primitive. Yet the strength was still terrific. So strange. Normally, distance doesn't matter when it comes to mental attacks, Luo Feng thought. Mental attacks from 10,000 kilometers would be no different from those from 100,000 kilometers. Is it converging? Luo Feng moved his mind and turned Star Tower. It had been drawing closer along a straight line. Now, it was following a curve. The several spots, 800 kilometers away, have the same level of attack. Low wisdom. And the mind attack can't be concentrated. Although he was baffled, Luo Feng kept moving forward. 800 kilometers. 600 kilometers. 400 kilometers. 200 kilometers. The mental attack kept getting stronger. Luo Feng started to sweat, and his eyes glinted fiercely and madly. So strong. 100 kilometers. Luo Feng kept moving forward slowly. The mind attack was much stronger. In such a short distance, the mind attack got denser and more oppressing, and it surged exponentially. 80 kilometers. Luo Feng appeared to be in agony. 60 kilometers. Luo Feng's godly body started to shake. 50 kilometers. Luo Feng knelt down on one knee. His godly body was trembling. He clenched his teeth, as if he were being attacked by a giant beast. Luo Feng had seen 3 blood stains on the white wing before, but now that he was 50 kilometers away, he saw 3 scratches on those exquisite white wings. They looked like scratches made by a weapon, and the structures of the wings were a bit damaged. A broken wing. Luo Feng was dazed. This video will end here.